Gabe, you have always spoken about the greater good, giving in for the team. You play a lot. You might not play at all some games, all part of the process. But players also reach a point in their career where they feel they've sort of gone through that and they would also like to play. Are you at a point now where the goal, the hope, or I don't want to say demand, but something along those lines is a rotation role going forward based on what you have achieved this season?
Well, first off, I think every player, even the greater good or not, wants to play. And I think I've shown I can be a rotational player in this league. And so obviously, yes, I would love to play every game as much as I would like to play, but that's not always necessarily how the game goes. And looking forward to next season.
Gabe, you've grown in so many areas. Where do you think you're proudest of individually in your growth this year? We saw the defense last year. Is it playmaking? Is it getting the knee brace off and getting your shot back to where it was? What specific area?
Probably the playmaking. I think the shot was something I never really worried too much about. You know, I've been doing it my whole life, and eventually the numbers are going to balance themselves out. And but playmaking on that side of the ball and being more of a point guard and showing I can truly be a point guard in this league. That was a really fun challenge and experience for me.
So Spo's talked about how they had to turn you in from a scorer into a 3-and-D guy. You had to find your shot, like you were just talking about. You had to, advance your playmaking. Do you feel like you've found your role? You've kind of figured out who you are as a basketball player in this league?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've worn a lot of hats this year, say it that way, and so determining which hat is my best hat to wear, that can be, depends on who you ask, I guess. But it's been fun, and I'd like to be valuable and be on the court as much as possible. So if that requires wearing different hats, then I'll wear whatever hat it takes to be on the court. So.
And Gabe, just kind of piggybacking off of that, I think it was during the series with Philly where people started to learn Gabe Vincent's name kind of across the country. So going into the off season, where does your confidence sit knowing that people are talking about Gabe and the contributions you made to this team this year?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's, I think, similar to a lot of our guys. We look at it all of how I could have done more and what more I could have done. And to me, I just see it as a whole lot of room for improvement and a lot of work to do. So I'm looking forward to the off season. I'm looking forward to the grind and getting back in the lab and trying to come back next year with something different.
Obviously, last offseason, you had the Olympics, and then you were part of Summer League. How will this offseason be different, I guess, in that regard? And
It might be a real offseason to begin with. I haven't really stopped playing basketball in 12 months. So
what specific areas of your game, off the top of your head, do you kind of want to work on this summer going into next year?
Yeah, I think, I think we've seen a little bit this year at the mid-range isn't dead. I think playing in the pocket of that pick and roll, that shot's available for me a lot. So being consistent, be able to score that ball within that pocket, I think that'd be helpful. Obviously, being more consistent of a shooter. Big reason of why I got here is because of my shot, and the more consistent I can be with that, obviously the greater impact I can have on that side of the ball and continue to grow as a point guard as well.
You obviously earned so much respect in the league with how you played this year. Leaving the court, was there anything that Doc Rivers, McMillan, Udoka, or any of the players on Atlanta, Philly, Boston said to you that was meaningful?
I think we just, as a team, we played so hard and competed so hard, and we didn't really shy away from anything. That a lot of the comments revolved around that. Way to compete, way to play hard, and it was just a lot of respect. At the end of the day, we go out there, we play the game hard, and win, lose, draw, we just leave it out there.
Gabe, now that you have proven you can be a rotational player, and obviously you're playing the point guard position, do you think you can use your voice a little bit more next year? Will you feel more comfortable in that role as kind of a sort of a young veteran on this team instead of somebody who's trying to earn his spot?
Absolutely. I don't think I was ever shy to use my voice. I think I had a mutual respect with even the veterans in our team, the leaders in our team, to where if I felt compelled to speak up and have something really be heard, I had no shame or second thought in doing it. But like you said, it's another year I've been in the league, and so I have no issue speaking up on anything.
With these being your first, real consistent postseason minutes, how was the postseason game different
I think everyone in general plays a lot harder. Obviously, the competition is there, and there's a lot of buildup. There's a lot more of you guys around, a lot more media around, a lot more lights. But at the end of the day, it's still a game. It's still 48 minutes and 2 teams and 1 winner. So approaching each game like that and taking it all in, first time really having the playoffs with all the fans and all the big lights. And so that part was fun. But, still a game.
Gabe, you mentioned it's your first real off season. What are your plans? Do you plan to go somewhere and train? Do you plan to work out with anybody on the team? Do you have any of that set yet?
Nothing really set. I spent most of my off season in Sacramento though, so I'll be there working out with my people. I've talked to Kyle a little bit. Supposed to get with him in the off season. I'm sure I'll link up with a couple other guys, but and kind of just go from there.
All right, Gabe, thank you.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good summer.